everyone, it's Brandy from Brandy Burrow Astrology, back with Ellie Adams from Let's F with Astrology for another Forensic Astrology case. Ellie, welcome.
Hey!
So I'm saying tonight, we're recording at nighttime.
Yes.
Tonight, we are doing the Halyna. I think it's pronounced Halyna. I know it varies by country, so I'm sorry if I actually tried to research it. Halyna Hutchins.
Yes.
Who was, I guess technically accidentally shot by Alec Baldwin on the Rust movie set. She's a director of photography, and this is like a prop gone wrong incident.
Yes.
I say that because, you know, at the time recording, this is June 2023, the charges against Alec Baldwin were dropped. They were initially filed as, you know, kind of like a, I guess like a manslaughter, but they end up dropping the charges. So kind of just an accident at this point. But I think there are some people on this set being held responsible as far as the handler, you know, the handlers of the firearms and all this. But I don't know. That's still kind of ongoing.
Armory.
What's that?
The armory.
The armory, yes. Now, in researching this, kind of crazy, like a couple of people, like the lady in charge of the firearms, she had had complaints against her in prior movies for firearms being discharged accidentally. I mean, to the point where like Nicolas Cage walks off of a set because of it. One of the directors had the same thing going on in one of his previous movies. Like,
yeah,
so
I read something about
a little history of negligence with the firearms. I'm just going to say it. Rumor is that they were taking a break from filming earlier in the day, and they actually took these prop guns, loaded them, and were shooting at cans and like target practicing for entertainment, get back to work, and this gun happens to have a bullet in it.
So different than the Brandon Lee one we just did. Very possibly a very, very different thing going on.
Yes. So hop over to Ellie's channel. This week we're kind of doing themes lately. Like
themes.
Last week we did people murdered by axes. We're doing people who died on film sets, and she did the Brandon Lee. And yeah, a little different. This seems more negligent, whereas Brandon Lee is kind of like a prop that just went very, yeah. But yeah, so that's kind of the background. Halyna Hutchins was shot. I think the bullet went through her and then hit someone else. But she passes away from the injury very tragically. And so we have the chart at the time she was shot. Shall we look?
Yeah.
Okay.
Totally.
And here we are. This is on October 21st, 2021 at 1:50 p.m. They say the shooting happened right before 2 o'clock. Yeah, Ellie, what's the first thing you notice about this chart?
Well, goddamn, what's not the first thing you notice about this fucking chart? Look at that fucking Pluto. Holy shit.
I was gonna ask if you noticed Pluto in this chart.
Holy fuck. He's like right there.
Right.
It's not, I'm sorry, people. It's not funny, but it is like, holy fucking shit.
The crime, no, the crime, I guess the incident is not funny. Astrologically, though, this makes your mouth like hang open when you first, Pluto right there on the ascendant.
Yeah, goddamn.
Pluto is death. It's intensity. It's
transformation.
And you also got the victim right there, ruled by Saturn because the ascendant's in Capricorn. I mean, they're not within orbit, they're sharing space. Like, you know, forensically, that's close enough. They're in the same house visiting each other. And I mean, it's by Pluto. There is danger by the victim.
Yeah, there is. And also, you know, that little fucker squares that little fucker Mars too.
Yes. Yes, exactly. To an exact square there, both 24 degrees.
Yeah. Yeah, that's, which also feels violent.
Oh, it's,
And I you know what I mean? And I realize that, like, I mean, yeah, it feels violent. Like,
it feels violent. It feels, and here's something interesting. Mars here is in Libra. It's in a detriment. Now, if you guys have got to go watch the Brandon Lee, because there are similarities in these. And Brandon Lee's chart, there's a Mars and a fall. Like, we got Mars and bad signs in both charts here.
Mars is fucking.
Oh God, Mars is such an asshole in these charts.
And no offense to anybody that's got Mars in Libra or Mars in Cancer, what, you know, but in these sorts of charts, you know, that's fuckery.
And these charts, in forensic charts, not all natal. No, but in charts, these Mars are not in control.
Yeah.
And Mars is right there by the sun too. Combust, you know, it's.
Yeah.
Things aren't being watched over very well. There's blind spots. There's blind spots here.
Yeah.
Now here's another similarity. If we're going to look at the 7th house as a perpetrator, responsible party, the cause, it's ruled by the moon in the 3rd house. In Brandon Lee's forensic charts, that 7th house ruler is in the 3rd as well. And I'm like, why is that? Is it, you know, I'm going to look at my rulership book right now. I'm going to look at movies or filming.
And see what comes up.
I want to see what comes up, because I just think that's a weird, I mean, yeah, 3rd house is communication. You know.
It's also up. I mean, this is about the Uranus thing, but that moon is up Uranus's ass.
Yeah.
Which feels very random, or, you know, Uranus can be accidents and shit, and play into that anyway.
Oh, for sure. And it's, yeah. Films, of course, is a Neptune. You know, Neptune is like the arts. That makes sense. Yeah. It's just interesting that the 3rd house placement is coming up in these. I feel like, I don't know. There's something weird there.
What about, here, let's see something real quick. I'm just going to take a look and see what comes up for beyond what I know off the top of my head about the 3rd house.
I'll say this, the moon is in an exaltation in Taurus. So, and this, I mean, we gotta say this is Alec Baldwin, because he was the one with the gun in his hand. He claims he didn't pull the trigger, but I think that was bound to not be true. Yeah. But, you know, when you get a planet that's exalted, it can be kind of, I guess, exaggerated. I wonder if there was. Yeah. I do wonder if, and I hate to say this, but if there's some arrogance here, like, it's fine, let me just practice, you know, like.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. Possible. I could see that.
Yeah. That's the vibe I get from this moon, but.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to think about the 3rd house thing a little bit more.
Me too. Sorry, guys. We're going to follow up with you on that one. That one just threw me, but there's got to be something to it that both of these charts have a 7th house ruler in the 3rd.
Okay, well, I can't remember the what about well, they're in Taurus, right? The moon's in Taurus, but that 3rd house actually is Aries on the cusp. Mars in Libra can be kind of artsy and shit too.
Libra can be very, it's usually that Libra likes aesthetics or likes things that feel good or that are bring harmony.
Mhm.
Then it, it's ruled by Venus, and Venus is like the music and the arts as well. Yeah,
I don't know if that plays in at all, but
it's interesting.
maybe.
Now, what's interesting too, and of course, not, I'll kind of put a disclaimer after I say this. Halyna Hutchins, her birthday is, I believe, April 10th. Alec Baldwin is April 3rd, I believe. We're going to look at his chart in a minute. They're both Aries. And this happens during Libra season, which is their opposition. Because, I mean, of course, this was, Halyna Hutchins loses her life over this. Alec Baldwin, I mean, we'll have to see career-wise, but I imagine, this changes up his career, or at least, people's perception of him, or it's at least a mark on his story, right? And so,
yeah,
these Aries, this is like opposition season, which brings challenges. Now, it doesn't mean everybody dies during their opposition.
Yeah.
But I just find that interesting that Libra season, this happens. They're kind of the I don't want to say what I was going to say. What
were you going to say?
They're the two names that come out of the story, Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do want to look at some fixed stars though, and see if any fixed stars that are where Saturn is at. And I've got questions on my channel about what book we use. I use this Criminal Astrology Volume 1 by Kirsty McIntosh. Yes, me and Ellie.
Me too.
She has this awesome like fixed stars list. It's not every fixed star, but it's like the main ones. And so we use this, just a quick reference. It's wonderful.
Yeah, it really is.
So there is a fixed star at 6 degrees Capricorn. Promoters of idealistic and humane ideas, promoters of mental stimuli, enterprise, and a sense of justice.
Is 6 degrees Capricorn or Aquarius?
Oh my gosh,
what did you say?
Aquarius. I'm tired. Sorry, guys.
No, I just wanted to make sure we were on the
No. So just you guys pretend you didn't hear that one. I'm thinking Capricorn ascendant. It is in Aquarius, excuse me. Which is intercepted there, by the way.
Yep, sure is.
Okay, the closest we got is 5 degrees Aquarius. Keen intellect, good for business, military, analysis. I can't really apply that. I don't
either.
I don't see much there fitting. Okay, let's look at the moon though.
Okay. All right.
It's pretty far too.
Yeah,
14 degrees.
I mean, it's up Uranus's ass, so I don't know. What is it?
Success in Venusian, like Venus, occupations, artistic ability, popularity.
Okay.
And that would be the, this planet, the moon, representing Alec Baldwin.
Okay.
I think it kind of does show it's like someone well known. You got a well-known actor that did this.
What about the one at 1419?
Yeah, be about what, 2 degrees and 17 minutes. Disease, throat trouble, disgrace. That makes sense. Injury from beasts, unjustified enmities, sudden emergence of deep unconscious issues.
Kind of interesting.
Yeah, it is. It is. Anything else that stands out about this to you, Ellie?
Kind of want to look at that little Mars too. The 24. What is it? 24. Oh, yeah, 2408. Okay. Well, it's very fortunate for Mars. It says inspiration, riches, fame, honor, popularity, benefits through travel, success through work.
That's odd.
Yeah.
But this movie hasn't been released. They're going to continue filming it.
I was going to ask about that because I wasn't sure about that. I wonder if the movie somehow will end up being something about it being successful.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes me, of course, this has been in the news for almost 2 years now. I'm sure when that movie is released, it's going to be a title we all know, and it might help visibility.
Yeah. It really might.
Now, I did think it might be interesting to kind of see what was going on with Alec Baldwin at the time, transit-wise.
Okay.
I did not have Helena's chart, but we'll kind of see what's going on with Alec Baldwin. All right. So the inside is his chart. We do not have a birth time, so I just ran an Aries 0 degrees chart. But we got his planet lineup, and then the outside of the chart is the time of the shooting. I find it interesting. We got Saturn coming into a conjunction with his Mars, which, these are two malefic planets. So when these team up, it can feel like a challenging time in life. It doesn't necessarily mean when you have this transit that this kind of thing is going to happen, but, I can kind of see how that's playing out. Saturn also opposing Uranus in Leo for him.
And then they're squaring, right? Transit Uranus too.
Squaring transit Uranus. So it's making this T-square of unpredictability with either hardship or responsibility. And that's kind of one thing interesting in this is that he didn't really take responsibility.
No, not really. And it, maybe some of it is like, he didn't, I don't know. I mean, maybe he felt like he shouldn't have to, it wasn't on purpose. I can kind of see that, but I think to myself, if I was in that situation and I accidentally discharged a firearm and killed somebody, I would, even if I didn't mean for that to be in there, whatever, I would still be like, holy fuck, I'm so sorry. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. And what I mean by that is he blamed the prop people. And of course, I think everyone on the set that is dealing with this has responsibility, but he immediately shifts blame to it's their fault. They should have told me. He then says, my finger wasn't on the trigger. It must have gone off. It must have malfunctioned. Like he kind of course, I don't know, it's, I don't know. Maybe attorneys are telling him not to take, there's liability here, but.
That's possible. They told him to shut the fuck up and not, admit, kind of like when you get into a car accident and you're at fault and they say, don't fucking say that,
Right. Even when it's really obvious, you're supposed to be like, I don't know what happened. Right. So yeah, like there's this transit lineup of responsibility and unpredictability coming together. And I thought that was an interesting thing at play during that time.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. That is, let me see. this is the first time I've looked at this one. So I'm like staring.
I just pulled it like right before we filmed. I'm like, sorry, Ellie.
Oh, no. No, I'm just doing my staring shit. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah. And again, we can't go by houses on this one.
I was going to say, I wish I knew what house Mars was actually ruling to know, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Now, me and you had a conversation not long ago about this, about like when Sun and Chiron comes together, and we got Chiron
I know.
coming up on that sun of his.
Not only that, you also have transit Jupiter up Chiron's ass. Kind of, expanding on that, which, yeah.
Triggering, I shouldn't use that word. Bringing up past traumas or something like that maybe happening, or I don't know. It's
yeah. Absolutely possible. Yeah.
So this is what's going on in his life when this happens. And like I said, he was not found to, there was no charges pressed against him, or there were initially, but they were dropped. So he is not.
Yeah, they were dropped in April, right?
It was just a couple months ago.
Yeah.
So he's, he's not seen as legally having any responsibility. So I just want to be, put that disclosure out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, interesting, the similarities and what happens when accidents occur on film sets. We see the similar things going on with Brandon Lee as far as placements.
Yeah.
Halyna is buried in LA at Hollywood Forever Cemetery, right by Chris Cornell. Yeah. I found that accidentally when we were out there. We were visiting Chris, and I looked over and I was like, that's Halyna. Yeah. So anyway, just a little fact there for you guys.
That's cool.
Any final thoughts on this one, Ellie?
I mean, if that rumor is true, that they were firing off rounds, I'll just say that is the fucking stupidest thing they could have been doing. And I have no problem saying it. Seriously, if they were actually doing that, firing off rounds because they were fucking bored or whatever, that's an accident waiting to happen.
Right? Like, come on, guys. Like, there's some other negligent things. Like, even if it's a prop gun, actors are trained to never point it at any.
Yeah.
If anyone's in the line of fire there, you always like point it away from people because you never know. Like,
yeah. It's something that feels like it could have been. I mean, I think there could have been things that could have been avoided with Brandon Lee's too, but this one here feels like there were definitely things that could have been, avoided.
The Uranus moon conjunction and the time that the shooting happens, I think just explains it all. Just kind of like, it's accidental, it's unpredictable, it just seems kind of uncontrolled. Yeah, it could have been prevented. Very preventable.
Yes.
So in saying that, Ellie, thank you for joining me on this one. And very interesting to do these cases this week. Go to Ellie's channel and see her video on Brandon Lee. And Ellie, where can we find you?
You can find me on YouTube at Let's F with Astrology. You can find me on my website at SaturnSeason.com, and you can find me on Instagram at SaturnSeasonAstrology. And Brandy, where can we find you? Because eventually this will go on the other channel.
Yes, thank you. You can find me at BrandyBurrowAstrology.com and Brandy Burrow Astrology on YouTube and Instagram. Awesome. Well, thank you, Ellie.
Thank you for having me.
I always enjoy it. Can't wait till next time. But yeah, all right, everyone. Thanks for watching, and we will see you guys next time.